On the front lines of the ongoing war, there is no longer any safe space for the Russian invaders. Even the trees, once a symbol of protection on the battlefield, have become silent witnesses to the destruction. New footage shows a Ukrainian FPV drone gliding low at high speed, targeting a panicked target. An armed Russian soldier is seen attempting to use the surrounding trees as a protective shield, clinging to the tree trunk, hoping to hide from prying eyes and cameras. Modern technology and the courage of the Ukrainian FPV drone operator transformed the moment into a tragic end. In the footage, the drone's superior electronic eyes render the illusion of concealment meaningless. The drone's engine buzzes like a swarm of deadly bees, drawing ever closer. Within seconds, the distance between the aerial predator and its prey narrows. Suddenly, a powerful explosion hit the Russian soldier's body. Flames and debris flew everywhere, enveloping his body in a violent shockwave. The tree he had used as a shield seemed unable to withstand the destructive force of the explosion. The drone's camera captured the moment clearly. The enemy's figure was blown away by the force, his body crumpled, and tragedy cut off his escape. In another video of the same incident, two Russian soldiers attempted to escape an attack by a Ukrainian FPV drone. They tried to hide behind trees, ran frantically, and repeatedly evaded the attack. However, in the end, fate favored the Ukrainian forces. The two invaders were ruthlessly killed by modern warfare technology. The video shows the two Russian soldiers initially hiding behind a large tree, their faces awash with fear and despair, as if aware of the imminent threat of death. From a distance, a Ukrainian FPV drone approached at high speed, hovering as if stalking its prey. The two invaders, trying to defend themselves, huddled against the tree trunk, hoping to escape its target. However, the drone was slow to dive, then retreated as if deliberately toying with its target, and the drone's humming sound sounded like a death knell, haunting their every step. Realizing that their hiding place was no longer safe, the two Russian soldiers finally decided to run, hurriedly trying to find another place that might offer cover. In the recording, we can see that all their attempts fail, and the Ukrainian drone continues to monitor them, flying low as they flee, as if reluctant to let its prey escape. In their panic, one of the invaders glanced back, as if hoping to ward off the threat that continued to pursue them. But their efforts were futile. They had no weapons, no meaningful resistance, and were merely easy targets being toyed with by Ukrainian operators before finally being finished off in a long chase. What the Ukrainian FPV drones demonstrate in this video is not just a regular attack, but a psychological strategy, putting maximum mental pressure on the enemy before finishing them off. By circling around them, the drone further disoriented the invaders, the fear gripping them, making their steps increasingly unsteady. Their breathing became labored, their bodies hunched, and ultimately, their coordination appeared chaotic. Instead of supporting each other, each was busy seeking his own safety, a vivid portrait of the devastation of Russian troop morale on the battlefield. When it had had enough of toying with its prey, the Ukrainian drone finally launched its deadly attack, diving at full speed toward one of the slowest-moving invaders. A loud bang was heard, marking the end of the futile escape. The soldier's body was thrown helplessly, while his comrade could only watch in awe as the fate awaited him. Shortly after, a second drone, or the remnants of the subsequent maneuver, swept through the final target. With another explosion, both were killed on the spot, ending the brief, tense drama. The tree that had been their hiding place now stood as a silent witness to the destruction of two lives that had chosen the path of invasion. Russian troops currently enjoy a threefold superiority in forces and equipment. which rises to a 4 to 6 times advantage in some key areas, according to Oleksandr Syrskyi, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, AFU. But his forces have blunted offensives and regained 58 square kilometers in August alone. In a Facebook post, Syrskyi said that in August, Russia aimed to gain a strategic advantage, break through Ukrainian defenses, and encircle troops in the Pokrovsk-Myrnorod area. And large-scale offensives were also planned in the Novopavlivka and Zaporizhia directions, he added. Ukraine's defense forces prevented these plans from succeeding. Russian troops were forced to postpone their offensive in Zaporizhia and redeploy marine units to the Donetsk region. In fact, the month when the Russian military made maximum efforts to break through became a month of relatively small territorial gains, Syrskyi said. According to him, Russian forces are relying on a creeping advance by small infantry groups, trying to infiltrate settlements, move through gaps between positions, and avoid direct clashes. Syrskyi added that in August, the AFU concentrated on holding back Russian advances, inflicting losses, and retaking lost ground. Ukrainian troops also defended cities from missile and drone strikes while carrying out deep strikes inside Russia. He reported that the AFU completed its transition to a core system. This reform is starting to bear fruit. The command of troops is becoming more efficient and effective. But in August, Ukrainian forces regained control of 58 square kilometers, 22.4 square miles, and liberated several settlements, Syrskyi said. In the Dobropilya sector, Russian forces captured 13.5 square kilometers, 5.2 square miles, but lost 25.5 square kilometers, 9.8 square miles. In the Pokrovsk sector, they gained 5 square kilometers, 1.9 square miles, while Ukrainian troops retook 26 square kilometers, 10 square miles. In the Huliai Pole and Pridniprovsk sectors, Ukrainian forces held their positions. And in the northern Slobozhansky sector, Ukraine regained 4 square kilometers, 1.5 square miles. During this period, Ukrainian deep strike weapons hit 60 targets inside Russia. Drones struck over 67,000 Russian objects. And the effectiveness of the mid-range strike program rose by 25%. Russian losses in August amounted to 28,790 personnel, bringing their total casualties in 2025 to 297,350, Syrskyi said. We still have a lot of work ahead of us, but we are defending our land, and we are on the right course to exhaust the enemy, to destroy it, to achieve the results that Ukraine needs.